All right, BobbethTV is live, and you know what that means. It's a Sunday night, and it's an Australian evening. This is the beginning of the newest friendship with, as you can see on the screen there. I need to fix those images; they're a bit big. The 420 Oz Sim Racing League. We've got the V8 Supercars here at Virginia International Speedway. So yeah. Used to dirt courses, the occasional NASCAR race, but we actually have some V8 supercars at road course action coming your way here. Now, as you can see on the screen, it is 420 Oz Sim V8 supercars here at Virginia International Raceway. It is the full course version here at Alton, USA. It's 3.24 miles long. Currently 37 degrees on a track. Let's have a look. Next week's race will be the Motorsports Arena. I'm not sure I can say that. Oscar Kleeman. That is going to be interesting. But we're currently in qualifying. So we're going to get over to the race info, get down to the track, have a look at some of these cars, meet some of these drivers, starting off with Cliff Potter, Ram Jam there. Now, I did have some information. Where is it gone? All right, so we'll start off with Virginia International Raceway. Now, this track, I had to look it up a little bit. I'm not familiar with the road course, but it is Alton in Virginia, USA. It's been in iRacing since 2014, scanned with laser accuracy. It's pretty much regarded as one of the most accurate and tougher road course tracks in the sim. Now, the surface is an old school asphalt with noticeable bumps and elevation changes. It does feel very gritty and real. Those tyres do stick. Now, the track is quite narrow in places, and overtaking does require precision and obviously a little bit of bravery. Now, there is minimal runoff, but as you can see, as the big difference from dirt track to road course, there's no barriers really there. So you've got to watch your turns, watch those speeds into the corners, out of the corners, so you don't lose it. Now, we don't have the track map. I don't have the track map on screen. I'm really not on ball tonight. I'm a little bit nervous, so I apologise. The boys reached out to me while I was, at the start of the week. We sort of had a bit of a chat, and this came about. So, yeah, here we are. I hope you like it. Actually, that's good. So I forgot the qualifying actual information. We can see that Josh Rimmer does have quick time his last lap 1:49.794. Ryan Hunter 1:49.829 in second quickest. Stephen Varga, Mr. Stephen Varga there 1:50202. Pierre Van. Now, if I do get any of these names wrong, I apologise, guys. Just correct me in the Discord or in the chat, and I apologise. But Peter Van, 1:5380, minute 53.8. 380. Luke Fallon with a minute 50.843, minute 52.384 for Rob Chandler. Yuha Sorella, 1 minute 52.897 in seventh quickest. Cliff Potter Ram Jam. He was the first driver to debut on the broadcast here tonight. I believe that was actually him just prior before. Let's see who else we've got. Wayne Rogers, 1 minute 53.210. Brad in ninth. Brad Armstrong, 1:53.665. Wade Georgeson, 1:53.900. Dean Wright, 1:53.996. 1:54.764 for Kyle Douglas. That is the full field that we do have here tonight. Now, what cars are they driving, you ask? You did ask, I heard that. They are Gen 3 supercars. So they're the latest sort of supercar models that are driven in the V8 Supercar Series, both on the sim in iRacing as well as in real life. They're the sort of a bit of a reset. I grew up with the Holden and the Fords. It is now the Mustangs and the Chevys, as you will see on our screen here tonight. Actually, let's get the classes up. I'm sure I had a way of doing that, so you could tell which car was which. There we go. I'll turn that one back off. There we go. Sorry, guys, just trying to get things set back up again. There we go. So we can sort of see almost an equal amount of Chevys and Fords, just that one extra Chevy. Top four Chevy spots, and then Fords, then Chevys, then Fords. So they're pretty well grouped at the moment. So we're talking about the Gen 3 Supercars. What are they? Now, once again, I had to look these ones up as well. I sort of wasn't familiar with the change in the series. Hey, Shrubgod, welcome, brother. Thank you for joining in. Now, compared to the outgoing Gen 2s, the Holden and the Ford Mustang, these cars are actually heavier, but less aerodynamically efficient and more road car-like. Now, they emphasize driver's skill over engineering tricks, so sort of going back to driver-based vehicles rather than the horsepower and the engine sort of driving it. Now, they do look and sound meaner with a more muscle car personality, and I hope that sound is sort of coming through on the broadcast, Shrubs. Hopefully you can help me there, that they are sounding rough and tumbly there. Now there's two versions of the Gen 3 V8 Supercar that you will see in iRacing and in the race tonight. That's obviously the Ford Mustang GT S650 and the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Now, obviously, the Ford Mustang represents the Ford teams. It's a sharper looking nose, a bit more twitchy in the iRacing's physics, and slightly different in the aero versus the Camaro, but very balanced. Now, the Chevy represents obviously the General Motors camp. Now, it's a wide, aggressive body with a strong aero balance, and often slightly more stable at the rear in the with using the iRacing balance. So they do have the two different cars aren't just cosmetic; they do have a different feel and drive to them. So the guys obviously sticking with what they know best and what they can do best. Stella Artois vehicle there. That is Cliff Potter Ram Jam. Who else we got on the track? Oh, Stephen Varga there. So obviously with qualifying, it's just 15 minutes. Obviously each lap seems to be about 1 minute 50 to 1 minute 54. So, you expect around 8 to 9 laps at best if you're doing sort of setting up some runs and checking out corners, things like that. Do we have a lap count actually in qualifying? Yeah, we do. So most of the guys have done about 5.5, 6 laps. There are a few people out there about 7.5 laps into coming up on that sort of 8-lap run of qualifying. Now, there will be a 5-minute warm-up, I believe. Actually, I'm just going to have to look at yes, there is. There is a 5-minute warm-up after this prior, so that's just the one last chance. So, you've been out in qualifying, you set your times, and then if you've got any other changes you want to make, something that's more suitable for the long run, then obviously you can go back in and do that. Now, let's try and find... Well, we've still got a few minutes left. Who have we got? We've got the 51. He's coming up almost about to start his next lap. That is Ryan Hunter in the super cheap auto machine there. As he comes up towards that start. No, he's gone into the pits. He's Stoojman gone into the pits. All right, what about the 14? I want to see if we can get a lap run, like a bit of a description of how the track sort of pans out. Here's the 696. This is, I believe it's Shuha Sarela. Let's see. He is, okay, so he's sitting the start-finish line. So, all right, so as it comes in, let's see if we can do this. It'll come into turn 1, which is the horseshoe, which is just locking up and going off a track there. Now, that is a sharp left after a fast straight, so that's an easy lock-up zone. It's a great overtaking spot, but not a great spot to lose control. I've lost my cams for a second there. Give me a moment. There we go. All right. So the 723. All right. So now he's going through the horseshoe there. He'll come into turns 3 and 4. A little bit technical off camber right-handers, but they will punish the guys that are sort of a bit heavy on the throttle now. Sort of a bit of an easy run up through into the S's. A little bit of an S-bend run up into a straightaway there. We saw there the 723 having a little bit of troubles with that one. We do see the 888 actually heading up them right now. No, he's just pulled up. Looks like qualifying. A lot of the guys are wrapping up those runs, so we'll go through that track details very soon again. Just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, this is, we'll bring the race info back up on our screens. It's the 420 Oz Sims V8 Supercars League. It is round 4. We're at the Virginia International Raceway. Next week we'll be at the Motorsports Arena. I've got to look up how to say that. I believe it's Oscarsleben. Will be the Grand Prix configuration of the track. But V8 Supercars on Sunday nights coming to BobbethTV. They will also, sort of looking at how we can get it sort of sorted so it gets out there to everybody. 420 Sim also have their own Twitch page. So, yeah, it looks like we might be doing some collabs and stuff as well to get that out there. Just last of the cars on the track. No real new times sort of set. Most of the cars look about 4/10 off the pace as qualifying wraps up. The boys are going to get out for one last run. As I say, 5-minute warm-up of the track. Qualifying setups can often, because it's such a short period, it's a 15-minute period, you can really push the car a little bit harder for those quicker speeds. Obviously, you can't do that. You can't run a qualifying sort of setup run in the feature. It's going to be an hour-long race, so you do have to pace it out. Now, obviously, fuel, car wear, all going to be a concern on that one. But sorry, I lost my point. I lost my train of thought. So the 5-minute warm up just allows people to get out there and see what the changes to the setup based on practice and qualifying. So those 2 extended runs to sort of set up for a good run here in the feature 60-minute race at Virginia International Raceway. This is going to be crazy fun. V8 Supercars, they are a lot of fun to drive. It's one of the few cars I think on any sim any Australian can drive, especially if it's Mount Panorama, Bathurst. Obviously, that's sort of, I think you lose your Australian citizenship if you can't drive that. But no, I'm stoked. I can't wait. I think you took care of that, Shrubs. Thank you. It doesn't seem to have kicked over to qualify to warm-ups yet. Looks like it's got about 30 seconds, and then we'll go to the 5-minute warm-up. What was I going to say? Me. So I've talked about Virginia International Raceway because obviously we're not used to road courses. We're not used to lefts and rights. We're used to dirt and oval-shaped things here on this channel. And obviously, if you had supercars, I'm familiar with those, but you guys not as. So we've heard about those. But me, I'm Bob. I'm a Tasmanian streamer, I guess you could call it. Got into iRacing like a lot of people back in the COVID days. I know there's a lot of people that are sort of been around for a long time, but back in the COVID days, ironically enough, V8 Supercars, my sister pointed out that because of the COVID that they were going to race the V8 Supercars. So on the racing sim, I should check it out. So I checked it out and I was like, I could get into that. I really could. And I did. And it's a lot of fun. Obviously, still have my race sim, but fast forward a few years and ended up meeting a lot of friends who had their own sort of league. So we made the switch to broadcasting. Just trying to get us down on to the track as some of these boys start to roll out. It's Joshua Rimmer and the 888 Brocky inspired machine. But yeah, long story short, I started broadcasting our races for our mates and the extended group that would come and join in, and people said started sort of reaching out, going, "Hey, can you do this day or can you do this day?" Thanks for the follow, GTV, by the way. I don't think my alerts. Oh my god, I knew something would go wrong tonight. I don't think my Twitch alerts noises are working. Eddie J Potter, I think I heard that one. Thank you also for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, so long story short, sorry, yeah, I started getting offers to do some random broadcasting, and yeah, I've just been doing it ever since. I think about 3 or so years now, strong. Yeah, mostly dirt races, mostly American. I have done a little bit of Australian NASCAR on Friday nights, so I'm glad to be back on the Australian scene. It's always been a very American scene, but no, I'm looking forward to it. And we got there Wade Georgeson there. Wade, one of the owners, managers of the league. So not only runs the place, but also gets out behind the wheel of the car and gets it done as well. Can't quite tell who that is behind him. It is I believe the 37. I'm getting used to the names. This is going to be very interesting tonight. Dean Wright is the Caltex Ford back there behind him. There's Dean Wright. There's the camera. As if it hears me say his name, it jumps over to him. Right and a left-handing sweeper there. That final, what is that final right-hand turn into the straightaway? I just think we might be able to get a bit of a. Do you want to see what it's like inside these things? How crazy it is? Let me. This is what it looks like for Juha, for everyone out there on the track right now. Just starting to see a few of those lap times coming in. 156, 528. Quick time Dean Wright, Peter Van 156, 632, 159, 262 for Juha. See there on the dash, they do have a lot of information available to them to manage that run. Let's have a look. Do we have any sort of... Oh, why didn't that work? Let me just fix something. Okay, so that worked. All right, sorry, I just got to fix something real quick. So I fixed it before I went live. All right, I think I've just about got that fixed. Sorry, one last one to check. So I've tried to enable a bunch of other information and settings and options for me so that that are more relevant for road course racing. But it's all very new to me, so I've sort of done it on the fly. I believe that's fixed. There we go. Just got to move it up a little bit. We can see relative information, time delta information. Let's see what else we got. Anything that's actually useful and presentable? Nope. All right, so we see 3 cars. It's tough. If you do go off track, which we can, I was going to say we can kind of see sometimes, but not a lot of cars on the leaderboard, so it's not really going to show much information. But the off-track count sort of will reset the lap during warm-ups, things like that. So a couple of guys possibly finishing a number of laps, but only 3 successfully completing a lap cleanly, which is very difficult to do here at Virginia International Raceway. But here we are, ready for the main event of the evening. Excuse me, my throat's already starting to go. That's not good. The first ever running of the V8 Supercars for the 420 Oz Sim League here on BobbethTV at Virginia International Raceway on that front row, qualifying first and second. Ryan Hunter and Joshua Rimmer. Now Stephen Varga and Peter Van on that second row. Luke Fallon and Rob Chandler on that third row. Fourth row is going to be Juha Sorella and Cliff Potter. Wayne Rogers and Dean Wright on that fifth row. Sixth row is going to be Brad Allen Brad Armstrong alongside, I know where I got Allen from, Brad Armstrong alongside Wade Georgeson and Kyle Douglas there on that seventh and final row. All right, green flag start. No rolling a start or anything here tonight. Just we get straight into it as they roll down through into the first set of the turns, the horseshoe. They're going to settle. Let's try and get back up to that leader, Bob. There's a lot of cars going on here. So we've got the super cheap. There we go. Ryan Hunter, super cheap vehicle up at the front. What's the car numbers? There we go. Sorry, I just lost some valuable information. The 51, the 868, the 888. Ryan Hunter, Stephen Barker, Joshua Rimmer, the top three as they race their way up the hill. Get that information over there for a second. All right, that is what they call the oak tree as they come back down the hill out of turn 11 down the back straight or Madison Avenue. Now this is the longest straight in the race. So great for slipstreaming, great for making those moves later in the race. Good passing opportunity, but they'll come in to the roller coaster turns 14 to 16. Elevation's going to drop pretty quickly as they come through there. Now you can easily overlook that and carry a bit of speed down through those turns. And obviously then last corner is an off-camber downhill exit, easy to run wide or lose that rear traction, so you do have to watch that speed. Everyone seems to be carrying it quite well as we get that first lap in the bag. Where's Tom? Sorry, all this extra information I'm just not used to where everything is now. It's crazy, man. Just trying to get the lap times to come up. I think what we'll do is see if that's too much information up there. I don't think it is. We see there 156.523. Ryan Hunter absolutely firmly in control of that as he makes that gap out to about 1 second. Ryan Hunter, sorry, on Stephen Varga there. 1.3 on Joshua Rimmer. Almost 5.2 on fourth place, Juha Sorella. And Peter Van, 5.7 seconds. Back there in sixth place, Luke Fallon, Wayne Rogers, Brad Armstrong, Rob Chandler, and Cliff Potter. Yeah, that is a 6 to 10. I've lost my train there. Kyle Douglas, Wade Georgeson, and Dean Wright. There we see the teams being represented here tonight. Oops, there we go. So Team OCE, Quantum Peckies Racing, WHE Racing, 420 Oz Racing, of course, 723 Racing. And then, yeah, obviously a lot more 420 Oz Sim Racing support back there. All right, let's jump through the field, have a look at some of these other cars. Let's get to know some of these drivers and what they can do. We know Ryan Hunter obviously can wheel that Chevy. Luke Fallon back there in fifth. He's in the Monster Energy 8 car. Does have Peter Van behind him, Juha Sorella in front of him. So this is not a lap total race. They're not racing to a total of laps. It's not first to 50 or anything like that. It is a time-based sport, this one. So 1 hour from start to finish. Green flag to check in flag. Whoever is in front at that 1 hour mark will be our winner of the Virginia International Raceway Round 4 race for the 420 Oz Sim Racing League. See that hairpin. Beautiful work for those boys as they're going to come down that back straight again. Madison Avenue. It's a great name for it. What sort of speeds are these boys achieving, do you think? Some of the top speeds I can see on the board. Let's have a look. Yeah, I must have turned them off. Luke Fallon there, Peter Van and Wayne Rogers back behind him. Sector information, or not. Oh no, that's pit strategy, Bob. Let's get rid of that. I think I would show more than one, but that's just the. So we can see there the selected driver at the moment, I say, is Luke Fallon. Currently running 24.343 through the Sector 1. Van just 1.89 tenths of a second quicker. But he is quicker than Van. So, yeah, Van through Sector 2. Van, of course, quicker through Sectors 3 and 4. But not a lot of room to pass. As you can see, the track not as wide to sort of allow for some of those outer moves. You sort of have to set up for those turns rather quickly. And that is going to cause problems if you're not set. See there, another car's just coming down that final run into the start-finish line to start lap, I believe lap 5, yeah, lap 5 of 1 hour's worth of racing. You got to think, I don't know, say about 50 laps, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. As I say, this is all new to me, all new to the BobbethTV brand. Haven't road course racing, very new broadcast-wise. So hopefully, as I say, if there's anyone out there you're supporting here tonight, guys, by the way, in the chat, let me know. And I'll try and make sure we get them up on the screen for you for a bit, so you can check them out. Show them some love and support. Right, Ryan Hunter, Joshua Rimas, Stephen Varga, Juha Sorella, I hope I'm saying that correctly, and Luke Fallon still our top 5. We see Luke just there behind that 4th place driver. He does have 6th place Peter Van behind him, then Wayne Rogers, Brad Armstrong, Rob Chandler, Cliff Potter, rounding out the 7 to 10 spots. Wade Georgeson, Cole Douglas, and Dean Wright, 11 to 13, as we roll our way back down to the hill. Who doesn't love a good sweeping downhill sort of S-bend? Yes. Cameras really do love Luke Fallon tonight. I'm not sure if he slipped a couple of those cameramen a fiver or a cold drink, but this battle here, Luke Fallon with 6968, the 723. Let's do it that way for now. With the 8 in the sandwich. This has been the focal point of lap 5 and 6 so far. It is basically Fords, 2 Fords in the front there. There is a lone Chevy just back there behind them. Not teammates, but you got to think with the similar brands, are they going to try and do like the manufacturer run 1 and 2 style? Hard up on the brakes. There's some good driving. Trying to use as much of that track as allows just to keep that car as as quick and as wide as you can, because obviously the quicker you go, the harder it is to turn that vehicle around those turns. So a little bit of extra track to play with does help. Brian Hunter has built that lead out to about 2.9, but as I say that it slightly inches up towards 3 seconds, but 2.9 at the stand, 3.6 for the third place, and 15 seconds for fourth and fifth. So Ryan Hunter, he seems to be the man to watch in the V8 Supercars here at the 420 Oz Sim Racing League. Now, yeah, as I say, we're getting to know some people as we drive. Won't be as it's we sprung the broadcast on the boys this week. As I say, very quick to get this all thrown together and get this up and ready. So no racing interviews tonight. I know that some of you are familiar with the BobbethTV brand and the Mud Mule stuff. That we do sometimes interview the winners of the races. There will be no interviews, but just be a wrap up of the race. But I'm sure once the boys check everything out and sort of look over it, give me their opinions, see what they want changed, added, fixed, done, whatever, then yeah, it'll evolve next week, and who knows, we may start to meet some of the drivers. I was in the drivers briefing. That was kind of cool to be in, because yeah, they're just going over the rules and the expectations of the drivers and what the drivers can expect from the race, things like that. So no, I think it sounds like I've been fortunate in that I think I put out this sort of vibe that attracts like-minded leagues and people. So I feel like yeah, this is going to be a good one as we sort of grow together, and well, these guys grow as I ride their coattails and sort of grow in the road course sense. And there we have it. We've got our first move of the race on the screens here, side by side. Juha Sorella, Luke Fallon, they're going to come into the S-Bend. Luke is going to retire back into that position pretty quickly, and that is not a scaredy cat move. That is a smart move. You need patience. It's good to test it just to see, get out alongside the other car, see what those speeds are like. But a bit early to worry about whether you're going to be passing someone or not. As they were coming down that hill, we did see back there behind Peter, obviously, we do see Wayne Rogers, but he has got Brad Armstrong tight on him as well. Let's check that battle out. See there, the Winfield Racing in the Make It Super Cheap Auto machine. That's Wayne Rogers in the Super Cheap Auto 13, the 723, sorry, the 88. Oh, sorry, in the Winfield, not the Super. Oh, no. Was that contact? Was there a little bit of contact there? That will be a slight penalty for the 13 there. Wayne Rogers, he will need to slow down and sort of just let some time elapse before he gets it going. The Make It Super Cheap Auto 88. Brad Armstrong moves himself up into 7th with that. All right, back up to this battle with the 696 and the 8. And Peter Van, the 723, he's got the best seat in the house back there to watch it. So far, I think it's possibly been the stronger of the battles on the track. Everyone else has got a bit of a gap on their positional race car drivers, but this fourth and fifth battle, and of course that seventh and eighth battle, definitely more of that to come, I think, throughout the track. All right, we're about a quarter of the way into this race. 9 laps in. Ryan Hunter, 149.996, has been the first car all night, I believe, to crack that 150 mark. I don't think anyone cracked it in qualifying. That is quick. Getting that thing singing. Oh, look out. Looks like Luke Fallon's going to fall back to 6th there. A bit of an off-track action as the 696 and the 723 are going to run away a little bit there. Peter Van Wingard. Sorry, Peter, I was calling you Peter Van before. Peter Van Wingard from 723 Racing. I have got that information there, Bob. What else we got going on around? Let's have a look over here. 420 Oz race car driver Rob Chandler in the 17 machine Shell Helix. So that's a bit of a Dickie Johnson, John Bell sort of combo, I guess. So it could be others as well, but 17, that brings back memories for me. I've always been a Holden guy when it comes to cars. But I think just despite my stepdad as a young bloke, he was very much a Rocky fan, so I was the Dickie Johnson all the way for me after that. Yeah, back there behind him, he's got the 10th place Cliff Potter. There's Ram Jam himself. He's in the mobile machine, the 82. Running a 153 at the moment, Cliff Potter is. That's pretty good compared to some of the guys around him back there in those positions. 8th and 9th, 156 times, 154, 155 for 11th and 12th. So pulling away from the cars behind him, gaining on the cars in front of him, it's got to be a good feeling as he closes those gaps. Now, that is the other thing to consider. Now, I did mention this is an hour-long race. However, the thing to consider is fuel. They don't have an hour's worth of fuel. They have, it is in my notes. Fuel capacity is capped at 50%. So pitting is an open strategy, and what a perfect timing to bring that up, because there's Rob Chandler, first guy into the pits. Now, obviously 50%. I feel like that means, about 20 laps of fuel, because it looks about 40 based on my sort of calculations. 37 laps worth of racing here. So we can sort of see here with the pit strategies, the entire top 11 still not in. Just that one car went in. Will that be the difference? Will that give him a little bit of an edge? Will some guys go for that one pit stop in the middle and try and sort of stretch it both out, or will some have to push it and go for a double pit stop? Now, if they do, then Rob Chandler, he has, he is a minute 26 behind the field right now. That's not a problem, because those cars are going to need to go into the pits. He's going to get that speed and that time back. Now, if some of those cars pit late and he decides to pit with them as a second pit, that is going to give him such an advantage, depending on how he can sort of race his way up the through the field as that occurs. So it's all about strategy, guys. It's when you can pit, how much fuel you sort of waste running it a bit hard to do those battles, or do you just settle in and race the track yourself? There's a lot of things to consider. Not sure what happened earlier there, but Juha Sorella, he was previously in 4th place, fallen back to 8th. So our current lineup: Ryan Hunter, Joshua Rimmer, Stephen Varga, Peter Van Wingard Luke Fallon in our top 5. Brad Armstrong, Wayne Rogers. You have, of course, Cliff Ramjam Potter and Wade. My God, I'm so sorry. Wade Georgeson in the top 10. Kyle Douglas, Dean Wright, and Rob Chandler, 11th, 12th, and 13th. I'm sorry, this is first broadcast nerves. So struggle with names and things. Wayne Rogers here in 7th. This goes Yuha behind him. So Yuha, part of a lot of battles. Man, I really hope I am saying that correctly. The 696 are part of a lot of battles already tonight. That's Peter Van Wingard in 4th. He's looks like, yeah, he's trying to hold off a charging 5th place Luke Fallon back up there at the 8 car. Of course, Peter and Luke obviously were battling earlier for these similar positions, so no strangers to this run. So look at the top 3 at the moment. There's the 868. That is Stephen Varga. He is currently in 3rd place. And just ahead of him there, the 88805 on the screens. That's Joshua Rimmer. And of course, our race leader we can see. So we can both see those 2 guys, 2nd and 3rd back there. This is our race leader. Super Cheap Auto, Ryan Hunter, 51 machine. He has pulled a 1 of 49.96. His last lap was a 1 of 59.66. So less than a second difference between laps, and we are 12 laps, 21 minutes deep into this race. Definitely knows how to drive a supercar. But like we've seen in the other leagues, in other divisions, in the dirt, things like that, a good league, you will see mid-season and towards the end, and we're fortunately here for that. We're at round 4 right now. Still 4 more races to come on the schedule. That you'll see some of these drivers grow and evolve and learn and pick up their skills. I think there is one guy actually here tonight, if I remember correctly. It's his first V8 Supercars race. Dean Wright, so currently in 12th, but this is his first ever V8 Supercars racing. He's out there racing, a challenging track. He's doing great. Let's have a look at what he's up to here. He's in the Caltex Ford 37. Control on the car. You can see a little bit of early braking. That is just, as you get familiar with the track, get to know its intricacies and where you can do things like that, where you can go a little bit harder, hold it a little bit tighter and come out a little bit wider because you've got that little bit of an exit on that corner on the horseshoe there. The hairpin. Griff, am I winning? I hope so. I feel like it's been a good race so far. A little different to what we're used to. So, yeah, just sort of going through the swing of it. And see that's Peter Van Wingard there, 4th and 5th. Luke Fallon behind him coming down through the S-bends as they are going to race their way. Why have I lost them on the track map? I wonder. Ah, there they are. They are coming up to the hairpin at the northeast of the track map. You can see the 723s blip as they come through. Here they are. Race down that straightaway there. Let's see. So previously Luke will be sort of known to get a bit of speed. We saw that a couple of laps ago, and he'll pop that car at the side. Just race alongside. It looks like it's a bit of a drag race, but it feels like, yeah, he's just sort of checking it out, just seeing what the speeds are like, what the cars are like side by side, and pops it in. This is more like it, to be honest. Yeah, obviously, for those that are here for this racing, road course racing, left and right turns, there's a lot of strategy involved. It's not just ride the lip and send it as you would do in a dirt car. So So no, quite excited, Griff. Quite excited to sort of check this stuff out. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mount Panorama is on the circuit, so coming up. So looks like Luke Fallon just going off the track there as well. We were talking about that. So that battle for fourth is going to sort of take a sidestep while Luke tries to close that gap back down. But yeah, Mount Panorama, very excited to call that race. That's one, yeah, like I said earlier in the broadcast, every Australian's grown up with. They know quite well. So looking forward to getting to experience that. 723 Racing's Peter Van Wingard has pretty much held that fourth spot for quite some time. Last lap 151.901, 151.391. So about 6/10 difference for him between quickest lap and current last lap. I can see there by the leader about 3 seconds. Some 3/10, some very similar laps, 154.06, 151.410. That is fairly consistent for Stephen Varga. That is it only Chevy and Mustang? Yes. So what that is in the current real life world of V8 supercars, it's basically always General Motors versus Ford. And they've had a bit of a reset. So they've got rid of the Holdens. Holdens are manufactured in Australia anymore, so I feel like this is part of the reset. And the Chevrolet now represent General Motors, and the Mustangs are now representing Ford. So yeah, it's just those two branded cars. The Ford itself, where did I put my little notes? So they are different to drive in the sim as well. So the Chevy itself, it's a bit wider, so it's a bit more of an aggressive sort of body of a car in terms of the track and space it takes up. And it has a good, strong aero balance, so it's really, really good under the aerodynamic sort of aspect. Now, that pretty much allows it to be a little bit more stable on, like for the rear of the car, so you don't lose the rear end in these in the Chevys too much. With the Fords, however, they've got that little bit of a sharpened nose, so that sort of affects the rear end physics and makes them a bit twitchy. But they're a lot more balanced in terms of control and speed. So if you're someone that sort of, I guess, is learning, the Ford's a great car. But if you're someone that sort of wants to have a little bit more say over what the vehicle's doing, and sometimes with a little less control if you're not careful, then the Chevy is the car to go. But we can sort of see that on the leaderboard there. Chevy quite dominant in the top 4. Luke Fallon, the sole Ford, in the top 5. He does have Shuhar Sorella back there in 7th, as well as Wade Georgeson in 9th. And then Dean Wright, Rob Chapman, Cole Douglas, the other 4 drivers in 11th, 12th and 13th. A lot different when they're not 15-second laps, though. Holy cow. Looks like Joshua Rimmer has elected to go into the pits. So we'll start to see some of the guys going into the pits, as I say, 50% fuel reserve. So I estimated around 20 laps-ish. By then, you'll see a lot of the people starting to pit. So we've just had our second guy, I believe, in the pits. Let's check the pit strategy and see if we can't see what runs some people are on. Can we actually get the... So you can see there a couple of guys spending about 25 to 30 seconds in the pits. Refuel, change of tyres, as well as any potential repair that is needed. But we do see, you'll see a number of those guys that have fallen to the back. Joshua Rimmer, Wade Georgeson, Wayne Rogers. They've all had a pit. Top 5 though, Ryan Hunter, he'll be the one to watch. He does have a 7-second lead over the second place Stephen Varga, Wingard. I will get used to these names soon. And Luke Fallon moving up to 3rd and 4th, just with some of those pits taking place. Wade Georgeson also currently in the pit. Looks like Ryan Hunter and Stephen Varga also going into the pit. Will we get a new race leader? Peter Van Wingard going in. Luke Fallon staying out. No, Luke Fallon going in as well. Brad Armstrong. Well, yeah, look, everyone making that run for the pits. Here comes a couple of the other guys at the back of the field, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Joshua Rimmer. Cliff Potter, Joshua Rimmer, Wayne Rogers, a little bit of an off-track incident there. Looks like Ryan Hunter and Stephen Varga back out on the track. So Ryan Hunter back into our race lead. Stephen Varga is going to take 2nd place after that pit stop. I reckon there's going to be 2 pit stops because we're at the 30-minute mark of an hour-long race. If they have half fuel... no, that is half fuel, Bob. That's 30 minutes. You're an idiot. I can't believe I just went to do the math on that and I was wrong. Joshua Rimmer in 3rd place. WHE Racing #117 is his racing team. 888 on the leaderboards. The 05's on the screen celebrating Peter Brock, the finest V8 supercar race car drivers there ever was. You know what? I can't remember who it was that went into the pits early. The first pitter guy, and the strategy that was going to come from that. I think I might be able to figure it out. It was Rob Chandler. That's right. Rob Chandler and Cole Douglas were the first few guys. Dean Wright. There we go. A little bit off track there for the 05. Joshua Rimmer. Looking around to see if there's any other sort of close battles on the track. So everyone up to those pits. They usually, with the pit stops, they generally do separate the cars a little bit there. You saw Rob Chandler just getting a little loose, going off track. Got onto the brakes gently so he didn't lock them up, because you don't want to just start sliding on the grass. You won't stop for a bit. Down through the S's. Nice work, straightens them out as best as possible. Good handling of that one. Continues that climb up to the hairpin. About to get to the backstretch. We'll just stick with him and see how he handles the hairpin, what sort of speed he gets out of this one here, Rob Chandler. Gets onto the brakes, nice, comes in at low. Can come out a little bit wide because that track is, you've got a little bit of off-run there. You can utilise, which he has well. He's going to put that foot down and run it down. I feel like this track's very similar, but jumbled up to Bathurst. Like, it's got the S's, the downhill climbs. It's got the big turn, and then the straightaway. Yeah, I feel like it's quite similar, actually. But yeah, considered one of the most accurately recreated tracks on the sim, and it is a real world hard track to race. So that does translate. That difficulty has has come over, and the Gen 3s with the redesign and the work iRacing have done, I think it's. I'm gonna have to get on and check it out because I feel like it's gonna be a great combo. Just watching it, yeah, like some of these little S-bends look like the lead up to the Dipper on Bathurst, and then after you get through the horse shop in the northeast, it's very much like Conrod Straight, and yeah, just very similar. I guess if there's sort of a template, but you can sort of mix and match where you put certain aspects of it, then yeah, they've sort of stuck to that good template. Watching Joshua Rimmer come down the Triple Eight, yeah, sort of coming down that backstretch there, down through the little windy bit, where you get the big right-hander onto the home stretch straight away to the start-finish line. Good little practice here. He's got a car there in front of him, so he can sort of time his run, sort of see what those little snap-out points look like here, where you can get side-by-side race to that start-finish line, try and get your car sort of set up for the entry of that turn. Was there contact there? I think there might have been just a little bit of door-to-door action there, as I'm not sure. I believe that was the 14. No, the 17, I would say it was. Sorry, my mistake. That is Rob Chandler coming into contact with the Triple Eight there. Joshua Rimmer as they were coming down. There's Brad Armstrong there. He's currently in 5th place. Make it super auto cheap. Make it super cheap auto, rather. Back had to duck out for some dinner. I'm also back had to duck out for some Saturday dinner for some dark. Welcome back, boys. Thank you so much for checking this out. Shrub and Griff. If you do come along for the 420 Oz sim and stick around for the BobbethTV side of things, obviously Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings Australian, I do broadcast an American dirt racing league that is currently sort of going through the grassroots racing series. So it's sort of a mixed bag of racing. It's really fun to watch. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights, Shrubgod and myself, we stream and co-op games, Split Fiction. Been streaming Dying Light 2 and the Dark Pictures anthology games, and then Griff just sort of rides our coattails. No, Griff's a mate of ours as well, who is a part of the group and also sort of streams and does his thing. And I do some shout outs and stuff. I've got so many screens doing so many things. I don't want to change it just yet. So feel free to give like Griff, feel free to give Shrubs a shout out. And Shrubs, obviously, feel free to give Griff a shout out as well. This 420 Oz 707 of Wade Georgeson, one of the bosses here, put it all together. Pleasure to meet him this week and sort of get his ideas and thoughts and chat to him about setting the things up and getting it started. Currently running in, I believe, 10th there. Quickest lap was 1:53.09.3. Currently running about 1:54.594. He's 2 spots up from his qualifying position of 12th, but he's about a minute and a half, minute 40 behind the 9th place Cliff Ram Jam Potter. There we go. Thanks, boys. But yeah, check them out. Like if you know, as I say, if you're here for the 420 Oz stuff and you're kind of like, I do like streaming and things. I do like guys that stream gaming and whatnot. Yeah, please, check us out. Check them out for sure. They're way more entertaining than I am. We saw Wade just go off track a little bit back there. It, kept his cool, got it back on to the asphalt and kept it running at green.
We want a shrubbery.
Oh, they do work.
A what?
There we go. I wasn't sure if the blurbs and that were going to work. Root, paper, scissors, OSR says it's good to see the V8 still running. This was the first ever track that 420 Oz did for the V8s. Oh, wow. Yeah, when I was first got into iRacing, I got into, it was like a little Tassie league. I wish I sort of stuck with it because I feel like there's some really cool road course guys out there. But no, that's cool that this is their first broadcasted sort of race is one of their routes in Virginia International Raceway. That's really cool. That's awesome. And thanks for coming along and checking this out, Root, Paper, Scissors. Appreciate you, brother. Do you have a horse in the race? Do you have someone that you're hoping will do well? $150,600. I was just about to go. Let's have a look and see what Ryan's been up to. Ryan Hunter, our race leader, started on pole position, has not looked back. It's only, I think, no, wasn't even. It was so far in the lead that once he completed his recent pit stop, there wasn't a lead change officially. The cars all came into the pits behind him, so he was the first one back out on to the track. But Rudd's still running 1.50600, so 1 minute 50.6. That is insane. Some of those qualifying times weren't even that quick. Some of the practice times, holy hell. Oh, there we see why Ryan Hunter, if we look at the bottom left of our screen, is in fact King Bugs Bunny, and we know that King Bugs Bunny can do anything. Star basketballer, swashbuckler, all of those things. So, yeah, didn't know Bugs was in the race, but we do now. So I think we know it's a foregone conclusion. 51 coming up on the 707. That's the 10th place Wade Georgeson. We do often see a little bit of lap traffic stuff on the dirt, the oval racing, but what is currently happening right now is likely, in Wade's eyes, he will be seeing a blue flag. That's letting him know that a quicker car, that a car more sort of advantageous in the race is coming up behind him. Now, it doesn't mean pull over, slow down, stop, or anything like that. It just means, look, hold your line. Don't do anything dumb. And the guy that's in the lead or the guy that's in a more advantageous position will get their way around you. We see here Ryan Hunter on the last lap, 151, triple two. Wade Georgeson, 155.645. So you have to think Ryan will either slow down on this lap, allowing Stephen to close that 10-second gap, or he will break the moves down and get a pass. There it is, straight there. I was going to say, he'll break the moves down, get a pass eventually. And as he hits the start-finish line to start lap 24, he gets that pass, gets back to doing what he did best. And he was actually faster on that last lap, 158.86. Holy cow. All right, I was about to say, we must be near the halfway mark, well past the halfway mark, because that was when we paired, coming up on the 3/4 mark. Only about 16 minutes racing time remains in this hour-long race. Lap 24. .420 Oz Sim Racing League. Gen 3 V8 Supercars. We're, of course, here at Virginia International Raceway. Coming in at the round 4 mark of their V8 Supercars League. There's the other super cheap auto car in this race. Brad Armstrong behind him. Juha Sorella. I really do hope I'm saying that correctly. That's Stephen Barger there in second place. He has got Joshua Rimmer back there behind him. I believe, let's check the relative. That's the 868. Quite tell. Actually, it might be the 13 of Wayne Rogers. It is. Oh, we have lost one off the track. There we go. Cole Douglas come a little bit wide on that entry, that left-hander, as he comes up to the hairpin. Should be able to handle the hairpin okay, as he's carrying a little bit of building acceleration speed rather than too much speed. Back there behind him, though, that is, I believe, the 17 of Rob Chandler. It is the 17 of Rob. He's currently in 13th place. Cole Douglas, 12th. Bit of a positional battle here. Oh, look out. Rob Chandler under brakes, comes through there beautifully, makes the pass. Moves himself up into P12. We see Cole Douglas heading in to the pits. Back up to Brad Armstrong and Juha there, 5th and 6th place. Just remember 50% fuel limit, so some of those guys who may have gambled, we'll be starting to see if that gamble has paid off. I think I did have a fuel box before, but I can't. This one. No. Fifth and 6th place there on your screen. Still a couple of 1 and 2, sort of one-on-one battles, across the track. We saw Rob Chandler and Cole Douglas. Now we've got the 696 and the 88 going at it. I believe Ram Jam, himself, Cliff Potter and Peter Van Wingard, they may be treading water with each other very soon. Looks like Cliff managing to close that gap a little bit. Cliff, no, I was looking at the wrong time. Sorry, Peter Van Wingard actually about 2 seconds quicker on that last lap, so possibly keeping that gap alive. The 5th and 6th place cars make their way up the hill. Destination is the hairpin turn, the backstretch down the hill to get that big punch speed. Brad will want it so he can get away from that 6th place car. The 6th place car wants it because he wants 5th place back. Well, it looks like the 696 car a little bit too wide on that exit of the hairpin. too crazy, but it is going to give Brad Armstrong a little bit of a free run as he builds that better speed down the straightaway. We'll get to the S's and he'll be able to sort of deal with them a little bit less under brakes than he'd need to if he had a car sort of a lot more closer on him, a little bit more pressure. As he sets up for the next left-hander into the right-hander S-bend. That run to start his lap 27. 50 minutes into this race, less than 10 minutes remain. 15-second lead over second place. Ryan Hunter has over Stephen Vargas. So you think some of the broadcaster jinx him, give him the curse. Is it possible to see speeds? I don't think I can see current speeds, but we can sort of see. Well, hang on. Maybe. Let me try something here. Let's. I'm sure I saw it. Here we go. There we go. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, we'll have a live gear sort of speed readout. So yeah, they're hitting. That's the 88. He's coming down that back stretch, so hitting that 240, 250k mark there. 256. There we go. 260. Still climbing. Holy cow! So look about 271 top speed there. I can. You sort of see there around the 270, so there's a 268. Stephen Varga very sort of more consistent in his lap times and in his runs there. 277, obviously quicker speed for our leader, but we see guys there that've got quicker top speeds. 278, 281. Sorry, yeah, and I actually legitimately only changed it over to kilometers per hour tonight, Griff, because we were going Australian. Normally it is generally miles per hour, which is the ironic thing. Ryan Hunter, definitely the dominating driver on the track tonight, but the 696, the black and greenish sort of coloured car, Juha, I believe his name is pronounced, easily my pick for the toughest driver out there. He has had probably about 3 or 4 positional battles for that 4th to 6th place, and has always been involved in pretty much, well, I think he's been involved in every single battle in those sort of senses. Whether some of the guys would change or one of the guys would fall out, swap out, but he has been a very common denominator. There's Luke going. There's Luke. Luke Fallon in 4th place in the 8 machine, just starting his 29th lap. Probably a handful, just less than a handful of laps left for him. Great shot through the trees as he comes down to that big left-hander. Onto the brakes, but quickly back onto the acceleration as he runs through the S-bends there. Got to get a bit of a hill climb going. In front of him, though, Joshua Rimmer, he's in 3rd place. Is that actually 888, 868? It is. So he does have a visual. He is only 6 seconds behind Stephen Varga there in 2nd place. He can see Stephen. That has got to be feeding that hunger. As he's sort of racing his way in that podium finish now. But Can he get a top two? Can touch wood for Ryan Hunter? Can he win it? Can something happen? I don't know, so conversion, so I'm assuming 250 kilometers an hour is safe in the schools. Yeah, basically, you're not wrong. Mate, just do the conversions. Look, I'll tell you what, look. Let's see if we can do that on the fly for you, brother. For our non-Australian fans, there we go. How's that, Griff? Just for you. Top speeds presented in miles per hour. So we can see there the race leader, 167 miles per hour, 176 for Stephen Varga, 171. I feel like they're wrong because I feel like the conversions are different. Unless there's been some new speed record set. There you go, shrubs, kilometers, miles divided by 8 times by 4. Simple stuff. Alright, it's hurt me. I've got to change it back. Sorry, Griff. About 2 or 3 laps remain, I'd say, in this hour-long battle. Joshua Rimmer there in third. We didn't get up to Stephen Varga. Give him his flowers. Quantum Racing's there in second place. He's raced a good race as well. Sort of steady, consistent lap times early on. Consistent speeds. But this man has been the man to beat all night, and it has been his race. I'm not sure if Virginia's his track, if Gen 3 cars are his bag, if he's an all-round good guy, but we'll have to wait and see over the next 4 weeks of racing. See if anyone can get themselves up on the winner's circle. Actually, I think we should be able to go back and look at some past results, actually. So divide by 40. All right, so last week's race was at Watkins Glen International. It looks like, yeah, Ryan Hunter was our victor in that one. Stephen Vargas second. Looks like Troy Stone Street, who's not here tonight, was third. Then Joshua Rimuju Sorella was fourth and fifth. So similar sort of positions as we sort of roll our way through the middle stages of the league. One last chance to sort of look around at some of these battles. There's Brad Armstrong in sixth, Schuhar in fifth, Peter Van Wingard back there in seventh. So these three, they've pretty much been the sort of the closest competitors all night. And have had a fair share of the debut broadcast of the Oz, the 420 Oz Sim Racing League's race. 2 minutes remain. It has been a great battle. Up the 13, that's Wayne Rogers there. Currently running in 10th, just off the track. The camera, quick little cut, but then they were like, nope, we need to get back to this battle. This battle, that 5th, 6th, and 7th place battle is as if it's the top 3. Not a lot of passing opportunities, but if there was one, here it is right here. Maybe didn't get the exit they liked, so I thought Brad was going to pop his car outside and take him on. Peter Van Wingard's going to take him on, though, on the inside. Great little battle there. Brad really not letting up either. Wingard, Van Wingard can think that, you know, he did well there defending, but certainly wasn't easy. All bets are on Rimmer. Yep. Boys come around the first of two hairpins on this track as we start our 32nd lap. Basically coming up, this will be the last lap of the race as we hit the hour mark, and basically what will happen now is the checkered flag. Triple Eight Casino. No, maybe we do. Why does that ring a bell? But yeah, once the hour mark is done, that current lap is completed. So lap 33 will be our white flag, our final lap. The 51, where is he? He's just coming up the hill. I can see him just on the north side of the track map there. Just keep an eye on this battle here for 6th and 7th, though. It looks like Peter Van Wingard might get it there. So Brad had to go a little bit wider than he wanted to. He's forced to follow Peter down the backstretch run. Madison Avenue, longest straightaway on the track. That is the official checkered flag of the race. It is done and dusted. Some of the cars are going to take it into the pits. Others is going to keep it running because who doesn't like racing supercars around a race course? But it is going to be congratulations to that man on our screens right there. Mr. Ryan Hunter, the 51 car, has taken out the round 4 Virginia International Raceway round of the 420 AusSim Racing League. Let's see if the official results are. Nope, the official results are not yet ready. A couple of the guys still yet to complete that final lap. See, some cars have got the checkered flag. Dean Wright has called it. He finished 2 laps down. At 1:51.605. That is not a slouchy time for a best time, my man. For your first time in this league, so congratulations. Just have some of these cars winding down as we wait for the official results. I know we can obviously go via the leaderboard, but the official results are so much more prettier. Currently running with our second place finisher, Stephen Vargo. Just trying to see where everyone is on the track, see who might be still left to run. No surprise that Brad and his competitors still out on the track. All right, results don't seem to be forthcoming. I feel like everyone has finished their key laps, so we are going to have to go. Oh, right as I said that. Right as I said that. How sneaky of you, iRacing. There we go. The 420 AusSim V8 Supercars race results. Cole Douglas finished in 13th, Dean Wright in 12th, Rob Chandler 11th. Our top 10 to 6, we had Wade Georgeson and Wayne Rogers, Cliff Potter, Peter Van Wingard, Juha Surila, Our top five was Brad Armstrong and Luke Fallon in fourth. The podium finishes Joshua Rimmer in third, Stephen Varga in second. But our race winner and quite a dominating driver here tonight. That man on our screens just disappeared. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan Hunter from Team OCE. All right, guys and girls, well, that wraps up the debut of the 420 Oz Sim V8 Supercars here on Bobbeth TV. That was a fun, daunting and nervous run, but a fun run nonetheless. I will group up with the guys. We'll see what works. If anything wasn't or could be better or different. And as always, guys, you know, please like and follow the page. Obviously, you can follow a lot of the Twitch action from that one, but we are also on Facebook and YouTube. So if you do have a preference, you are able to find us across the board for the racing broadcast. So, look, thank you so much for coming out. I don't think there's really any iRacing. Let's see. Let's have a look. Filter by category. Is it iRacing? Yeah, there we go. So we'll look for someone iRacing. I never don't normally rate out, but I feel like let's go out and sort of give us some love to some people. We'll just obviously make sure that they are. Road course, because we just finished up. Oh, here we go. Here's some road course action with the rain. So how do I rate him from the raid manager? Shrubs. Just grab his name from there, and we'll just. All right. Once again, thanks for coming out and watching, guys and girls. Check us out tomorrow morning. We are back with the Knuckleheads iRacing Leagues Grassroots Racing Series. 2 races tomorrow, 2 Tuesday morning, and then 1 Wednesday.
I'll tell you one thing that every good soldier knows.
There's Griff's
The
burp.
only thing that counts in the end is power. Naked, merciless force.
Yeah, thanks, Griff. Thanks, Shrubs. Thanks, everyone, for coming and checking us out. Ernie J. Potter, JTV. Whack Nuts was the other day, but thanks for the follow. I didn't see that. As well as some of the guys in the chat. Appreciate you all coming out and checking this out. Look, we won't rate out. I don't like to. It feels weird rating out to a random sort of race car. I mean, video game wise, streamers is probably normal, but we'll just call it there. So thank you so much for coming out, guys and girls. Really appreciate you watching. If you're here for the AusSim, the 420 AusSim Racing League, I'll see you again next Sunday night. Thanks for watching. Bye. Nah, just to wrap up with the end stream ending jargon there. Yeah, I'm a pussy. Sorry, Griff. But yeah, Shrubs was held delayed as well. That's really weird.